Okay, well, this is Bob Donnell of Next Level for Success. I'm here with John Assaraf, and many of you guys know him from The Secret, but he's got a lot more to offer than just what The Secret offered. And one of the things I just want to tell you, thank you for being on the show, and
my pleasure.
Thank you for taking the time. And you know, many of us saw John as we saw you as the vision board guy in the movie, and I don't know if you thought that the vision board was going to play such a huge role in society after that movie.
I have no idea. You know, it's something that I've been doing for many, many years, and I guess the impact that it had on people was so profound that we actually created the vision board kit because of that. But I had no idea that it would have such an impact.
It was huge, and it was funny because I remember seeing that part in the movie, and I remember thinking, well, that's an interesting concept. That's an interesting thought, and then all of a sudden I started hearing everyone start talking about vision board, vision board. Hey, I've got my vision board up. I've got my vision board up. And I thought, I wonder if they even had any clue at all that was going to be such a huge impact. So that's so interesting. And you brought this vision board kit out. Let's talk about that because I got a chance to get 2 of them at your last event. And what inspired that? I mean, obviously the vision board is something that you've lived with for your life. I mean, you've really practiced it for a long time.
Well, the whole idea was to really take my goals and my dreams and put it in pictures. And it stemmed from understanding how the brain works. And we see things, obviously, that we relate to. And the brain really focuses on what messages you're giving it. And the clearer you are, the more it does its job properly. And so when you have a written goal is one thing, but when you have a vision to look at, a huge part of the brain is visually based. And so we think in pictures. And so I just created these vision boards to get very, very clear on what it is that I wanted to achieve. And that's really why I created the vision board kit, was to be able to show people how to do it and tell people why it works. It's not just a matter of cutting out pictures. And that's what most people have an error is, they think that if you cut out pictures, stick them on the wall or in a book or on your computer that it works. It's what you do after you create the clarity that's important.
Boy, that's a great statement. And I liked all the pictures and the ideas that you put in that kit. Ways for people to really take action immediately. They didn't have to go back and try and cut things out and try and figure things out. You really gave them some concise ideas. I really like that idea. You know, when you talk about vision boards and when you talk about vision, Wendy and I talk about this, and it's like, can vision coexist with fear?
Most people have a really hard time with fear because they don't understand what causes fear. So let me give you an example. When you set a goal for doubling your income, tripling your income, the first thing that happens as soon as you get emotional with it is the brain will release a chemical into the bloodstream to let you know that you're out of your comfort zone. So when you're out of your comfort zone, what happens? You feel stressful. When you feel stressed, you think there's potential danger. When you think there's potential danger, what do? You revert back to your comfort zone. So fear is a good thing when you understand what's causing it. And so when most people feel doubts, fears, or anxieties, they do what Maslow says, is they revert back to safety, where they feel comfortable. But when we understand that fear is nothing more than a chemical that's released into the bloodstream that we feel, that's called fear. And that gives us the doubts, and that gives us some anxieties. But what successful people do is they feel the fear and do it anyway. And they learn how to create that fear muscle. And at every level of success in every area of your life, it doesn't make a difference if it's a relationship, if it's money, if it's your career or business. Anytime you're growing, you're going to feel the doubts and the fear. Period. It's so paramount to understand that. And highly successful people feel it, and as I said before, do it anyway.
So see, folks, I mean, the interesting thing about that, John, is that most people feel that fear is this thing that is unknown. But there is really a scientific reason as to what fear is and how it exists. So it can coexist with vision.
Absolutely.
Because it's almost a necessity.
It's a necessity. It not only coexists, it actually is a necessity. You're 100% right.
Wow, what a great statement. The other thing that we want to talk about is the answer. Because we've got this movie, The Secret. And I walked away from The Secret going, that's a great movie, packaged brilliantly.
Yes.
But I felt that there was something missing. And as I talked to people like yourself, you guys admit, yeah, there is something missing. And what necessitated the response of the answer?
Well, the answer was my business partners and I decision to really focus on the business world and making more money, and to give people a much deeper understanding of the law of attraction or the law of resonance from a scientific perspective that a layman, anybody like you and I, can understand.
Right.
And one of the challenges we had with The Secret was people said, well, you can't just, think, believe, and achieve. There's got to be something else. And that's true. You've got to think, believe, and achieve, but you've got to also invoke what I call the law of Goya, G-O-Y-A. That's get off your rear end there. Right. And you've got to do the right things. And so it's not just a matter of, visualizing and meditating and asking. God is not a cosmic bell captain where you can say, I want this, and boom, it appears. There's the relationship of what you've got to do as well. You've got to move towards what it is that you want, in addition to having a clear picture. The universe does respond to our intention, our thoughts, and our feelings. Actually, it responds more to our feelings than our thoughts, because we have 50,000 thoughts a day. And so when we can learn how to feel what we want to achieve, and we take the right actions, that's really the marriage. So it's the clarity, the feeling of already having achieved that, and taking the right actions in the right order.
Well, one of the quotes that I used for my members this week was your quote, and because we were going to do this interview. And the quote talks about the movement from motivation to motive action. And I love that, because I always say that we're not lacking information, we're lacking implementation of information which we have. And so when I saw that quote from you, I said, that is such a great statement, because I think one of the things you touched on was that most people get very afraid when anything's going to change. So they revert back to what, like you said. So here's this movement of going from motivation to motive and then action.
Right.
And how do you propose that people literally get over that just the motivation and actually start taking action on maybe something that they don't even know yet? It's unknown to them.
Well, first and foremost, specialized knowledge is critical. So before you take action, do your due diligence. Right? So it's not just any type of action. For example, if I gave you the combination numbers for a safe, let's say there's 4 numbers, but I didn't put them in the right order, you can spend a lifetime trying to figure it out.
Right.
And so what you want to do is have the right information in the right order, and that's where specialized knowledge comes into play. There's just about every bit of information available in the right order for almost anything any one of us wants to do. So our job first is to get that right information, and we might have to spend $10 or $20 or $100 getting it. But that is inconsequential compared to the time we'd have to waste trying to figure it out. It's inconsequential compared to the errors that we've made. And so we can buy the information and then apply. Then we can get some counseling from individuals who are experts in those fields. So we don't have to figure it out ourselves. And, I've made a fortune in my life, not by being smart, but by following other people's proven plans.
Wow. Other people's proven plans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that most people just don't follow people's proven plans? They want to venture it out on their own?
Yeah, there's something that causes people to try and figure it out on their own. And I don't know whether it's ego, whether they're afraid to ask for help. One of my biggest gifts was always the ability to say, hey, I need your help. I'm not good at that, I'm not good at that, I'm not good at that, I need help. And in our society, that seems to be looked upon as a downfall. And I look at it as fast as I know what I'm not good at, that's how fast I can move forward, because I can find somebody with those specialized skills. And so I can ask experts for help, or people who've already done what I want to do. And that, to me, has been one of my saving graces.
That's awesome. How do people go about getting the vision board kit and the answer? How do they get this?
Yeah, for the answer, they can go to readtheanswer.com. And for the vision board kit, they can go to thevisionboardkit.com. And that's the 2 best places to get them, or Amazon. If they go to those 2 sites, readtheanswer.com or thevisionboardkit.com, they can actually download a couple free chapters of the answer and 1 free chapter of the vision board kit, and they can see all the testimonials of people who've read it and applied it, which is even better.
And you guys, I got to encourage you to do exactly what John just said. And the reason is because John is a proven commodity. And the thing that I like about that is we've got a lot of people that are on the internet and marketing and things like that are telling you all this stuff that they can sell you and answers to make $1 million. John has done it. He's a proven commodity. Not only has he been successful in one venture, but he's been successful in many ventures. And that's the true test of genius to me, is when somebody can replicate and do over what they've done before in a different complete set of environment. And so I really commend you for that, because as I look back at some of the companies you've started, some of the companies you've sold, some of the companies that you've run and been involved in, and here we're sitting in One Coach, which is a company of yours, and talk a little bit about One Coach, because it's another way that John is taking what he knows and taking that knowledge that he's got and transporting it and giving it to you in such a way that you can actually take action on today and start changing the way your business runs, the way your relationships run, everything in life.
Well, One Coach is a passion of love and a business of love. I was blessed to have had some phenomenal mentors, people who showed me exactly what to do. And after I took my last company public, I said, what am I going to do next? And business is the royal road to financial freedom as far as I'm concerned. And so I wanted to give anything that I've done in my whole life to anybody who aspires to building a business, to having the revenues, to making their life a masterpiece. I didn't want to just live my life like an average individual. I saw enough of that with my parents, and I said, nope, that's not going to be for me. And so I learned the price to pay. And the price to pay is commitment. Most people are interested in success. I was committed, so I would do whatever it takes. I read, I wrote, I went to seminars, listened to DVDs and CDs, hired consultants, hired coaches. And what I accumulated from them was that there was a specific way of thinking and a specific way to build a business. That if you applied it, it was like a blueprint. And if you applied the blueprint, anybody could do it. And so we're all about helping people apply that blueprint. And so you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Guys, I hope you understand what John's talking about here, because what he's saying is that it's already been done for you.
Oh.
And one of the statements he made was that we already have the information available. There's so much information that we literally, like you said, we have the answers to most of the things that we want to solve. And one of the things I said was, without a vision, we all know that people perish. But I said, without a vision, without hope, the people will definitely perish. But if we can instill hope and instill vision in people's lives, we can literally eradicate poverty. We can eradicate, people starving to death. Simply because if we could just have enough vision and hope, and people could start taking action on those visions and hope. That's what I see you doing. I see you empowering people to take action on the knowledge.
Yeah, everybody's searching for answers, and so if you can provide people with the answers and provide them with the support, now they have hope. If you do any research into why business owners go out of business, it's not because they run out of money. They run out of hope. So you're 100% right. And so they run out of hope because they keep hitting their head against the wall, and they can't find a solution for the answers that they need to grow their business. And so we provide them the hope by providing them with the tools they need, the answers they need, the resources they need, and more importantly, all the support that they need.
Wow, and in today's market, it's just so tough. Chris Husong, who's one of your coaches here at One Coach, and I were just talking about that same thing, saying that people are, right now, fear has completely immobilized them. They are not willing to take any action, and yet, if they just put themselves, and one of the things you said was that you weren't ever afraid to ask for help.
Right.
And most people I see are so afraid to ask for help that it's going to show a weakness. And so I just commend you for that as well. And folks, you need to learn to ask for help. And One Coach has the tools, has the systems, has the plan, the blueprint, if you will, to map out your business so that you can have the success that you want. And John's graciously been offering that to people. So take advantage of that.
Thank you.
John, if you could leave people with one last thought, what's one thing that you would want people to know that maybe right now are sitting there going, yeah, okay, well, that's John Assaraf. Yeah, he looks good. He's got the beautiful house that we saw on The Secret, and that's just got to be incredible to live in that house that you envisioned. But they're sitting there saying, well, that's John. That's not me. I mean, he doesn't know how much debt I have. He doesn't know how much I've got against me right now. He doesn't know my background. What would you say to somebody right now that maybe the vision is there? We talked about, Wendy and I talked about vision and saying, well, does vision get, do you ever lose vision, or do you just suppress vision? So maybe their vision has been so suppressed that it's foggy to them. What do you say to them right now?
First and foremost, if we take a look at any result is an effect. right? It's like, for example, we've never seen wind, but we see the effects of wind.
Okay.
And so if we look at any of our results in our health, our wealth, our career, our spirituality, or any of the results in our life, that's because of what we were thinking about and doing in the past. So any result today is what we were thinking about and doing in the past. I came from very humble beginnings. My father was a cab driver. My mother worked at a local Kmart. I got into more trouble in school than any kid probably would ever get to in school. And so I had to learn how to think differently. And I had to learn how to behave differently. And there's an old saying that says, inch by inch is a cinch. I had to do it one step at a time. And people may look at my life today, but what they've got to realize is that's 28 years of thinking differently, of doing things differently every day, of upgrading my skills every single day. And so you might look at the result today, but that's not because of today. That's because of what I've done for 28 years. And so if somebody right now is in a situation that they're unhappy with, or they know that there's more, or they're really struggling, if they don't start to think differently today, it won't be any different in another day or a week or 5 weeks. So the first and most important thing is thought. We must understand that thinking is the most precious gift we have. So if we're focusing on what is, we can't be focusing on what we want. So we've got to change the thinking first. Then we've got to upgrade our skills. You have to upgrade your skills. If you're earning $10,000 or $30,000 or $100,000 a year, it's not because that's your potential. It's because that's what you have become accustomed to think about, and that's what you become accustomed to do. And so all you're doing is looking for things that line up with your situation right now. So the first thing is you must change your thought patterns. And not just your conscious ones, your subconscious ones as well. And you must upgrade your skills and upgrade what you do.
Wow. There's a recipe. It's a recipe that's proven. It's a recipe that works. So let me challenge you. Don't take it from me. Don't just take it from John. Actually take action. Do something with it. And see for yourself. If it's already worked for him, it's already worked for thousands of other people. Now it's your turn. Now you've got to take the action. It's motive and action. And so I just want to thank you, John, for taking the time to be with us. And
thank you.
I look forward to just seeing so many great things from you. And I truly believe that your best days are ahead of you. And what you've done up to this point is going to be completely overshadowed by the amazing things that you're going to have an impact with people's lives.
I totally agree. Thanks so much.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.